And this is what we're rocking. This is great. Infinite Sun, a local outfit from here in St. Louis, man. Great heavy psych, like hard rock, stoner rock type stuff. Great local band. I'll talk more about that in a future video. Holy cow, I love that record. Just got it. It's killer. So here's what you're in store for, my friends. First of all, check out the Man Thing t-shirt. The giant size Man Thing t-shirt. In my case, it would be standard white issue, so jeez. All right, anyway, here's what you're in store for. This is going to be another episode of me drinking a lot of beer and listening to a lot of albums. I thought, you know, why do it by myself, man? I shared it last time, so let's share the records with my friends here in the vinyl community on YouTube. So that's what you're looking at here. Pulled a nice stack of records to listen to today while I just enjoy my day in the cosmic realm. Booyah! You guys want to do a big chug, man? I already got one going, man. Let's get her on. I'll do one with you. Let's do it. Let's get caught up. Come on, vinyl community. Get in there. That away. There's to you on a Saturday afternoon, man. Getting loose and listening to some killer music on vinyl. Here we go.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
Oh, yeah. You guys want to see the stack? It's right over there. All right, let's get it on. First album. I've been kind of in a Kiss mood lately, man. And I think I was kind of spurred on maybe by the Kiss vinyl tag that's going on in the vinyl community right now. I was going to do that tag, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to be showing the same stuff everybody else has shown. And I do have some cool stuff. I could have thrown in some comics and, you know, I got some toys, Kiss toys and stuff. But anyway, we'll think about it. But yeah, this is Kiss Rock and Roll Over, one of my favorite Kiss albums of all time. Released in 1976. Man, this is an absolutely excellent album. Every single song on this album is about sex or trying to have sex, trying to get girls, and trying to get your sucked. Jesus. But anyway, man, love this album. Couple of crazy things. This is the only album of the originals where Ace Frehley doesn't have a songwriting credit on here. I don't know if he was just too fucked up at the time or what, but oh, you guys, let's do a little cosmic trivia. Let's do it. Yeah, cosmic trivia. So there is a song on here that was one of the bigger hits on this album, called Hard Luck Woman, and Paul Stanley wrote that song. He wrote it with the idea to pitch it to Rod Stewart, which makes sense after hearing it, but then decided as a band they would hold it back and have it for Peter Criss to sing as kind of a follow-up to their big hit Beth that Peter sang on Destroyer. And so they kept it and put it on this record. It was probably, other than Calling Dr. Love, was the biggest hit on this album. And it totally makes sense because Peter Criss's vocals kind of do have that like raspy delivery of like Rod Stewart. Speaking of Rod Stewart, why don't we ever see any shit from Rod Stewart showing on the vinyl community? I love Rod Stewart. His early stuff is amazing. I'm gonna start showing my Rod. No, not my. See, I'm not gonna show my Rod. I'm gonna show some Rod Stewart vinyl records. Jesus Christ! How many things have I already said about sex and all kinds of weird innuendos? It comes because I'm holding this album. But yeah, this is killer, man. Love this record. So that's the start of my play day. Now this next album, released in 1975, oh my God, I think it was on A&M Records. This has to be one of the greatest hard rock albums from the 70s. Definitely top 5. This is an amazing album. There isn't a pussy among the track list, man. This is all just one killer tune after another. And I'm talking about Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. This is an incredible album. I mean, you've got Dan McCafferty's whiskey-soaked vocal delivery and just the heaviness of the band. It's got kind of a soulful darkness to it that I really dig. I mean, of course, everybody has this album, or back in the day when I was younger, man, everybody had it. I definitely. I remember hearing Hair of the Dog on the radio and thinking, how are they getting away with this, man? This and like Cat Scratch Fever, how'd those songs get on the radio? It was a different time, apparently. And Kiss's Christine 16, what? How? Wasn't that a big deal then? I guess not. But man, songs on this like Whiskey Drinking Woman, Beggar's Day, Hair of the Dog. You've got oh, Please Don't Judas Me. That song takes me back, man. In high school, you know, I had my posse, you know, we all had our like core group of friends that we hung out with back in high school, and I was no different, man. I had this friend, Mike Grote, we called him the Grotation. Yes. And he had this AMC Javelin. It was jacked up, had mag wheels, and he had this killer 8-track stereo, right? Yeah, I'm old enough. We had 8 tracks back then. And we'd listen to Nature of the Beast by April Wine. Our other one was AC/DC, If You Want Blood, You've Got It. But our go-to was always Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. We would either be lit out of our minds and we'd be listening to Please Don't Judas Me. I remember once we were been up all night and we're coming up over this hill and the sun's coming up and you hear that beginning intro of, you know, of Please Don't Judas Me. Oh my God, we had such great fun. It was just such a great times back then, man. But yeah, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog is on my listening list today. Now check this out. We're going to go back a little further in time to some early 70s rock and roll with Head Over Heels, released in 1971. This is like hard rock, bluesy kind of bass rock, post-psych, heavy rock. This is incredible. You've got some incredibly heavy tracks on here, commingled with some like melodic stuff, but it's all great, man. Kind of like a bar band, you know. I love these kind of bands that like they just play hard and have a good time. And by listening to this, man, I absorb that vibe. That vibe gets into my cosmic soul. And I just have fun, man, and listen to some great rock and roll, man, and check them out. Love it, man. This is great stuff. If you're a fan of like Grand Funk or like Savage Grace or Mountain, you might like this Head Over Heels. Great stuff. Great reissue here too, I picked up. And moving right along, it's kind of going back even further in time now. Is this killer 1968 psychedelic record of Mad River. Got a lot of ring wear on this, but God, this is an underrated psychedelic album. There's a picture of the band there. Man, you used to be able to get this pretty cheap. I don't know if it's still cheap heat or not. In fact, I don't know if you can get any vinyl cheap anymore, man. It's ridiculous. Rant time? You want a little rant? It'll be short. I am absolutely sick with the prices of vinyl. Going back into the 80s metal stuff, it's ridiculous, the prices on those albums, man. There's no reason why you should be trying to get friggin' 80s glam metal stuff and be paying $80 to $100 a record. That for a reissue, that's ridiculous. And even the psych stuff has gone absolutely through the roof. I'm telling you, it's going to continue. The only way it's going to stop, or if it's going to level off, is if we stop buying vinyl records for that money. You know we won't, man. We have issues, man. We have issues with it. It's an addiction. You know it is. Anyway, that was my Mad. Let's get back to Mad River. Great songs on this. You've got probably the opening track is pretty hard. Merciful Monk. And then you've got Amphetamine Gazelle, which is the highlight for me. You got some trippy stuff on here, man. It's killer. High All the Time is another great one. I implore you, man. And there's a reissue of this out there too that you can get. Pretty good. I just went on a rant and said, but you'd probably get it for under 30. But yeah, Mad River, great album. Let's get into a little speaking of 80s metal, let's get into a little bit of Alice Cooper. This is a great album, and check out that cover. That is fantastic. I love that cover. Alice Cooper, Raise Your Fist and Yell. Great stuff. This was his follow-up to his Constrictor album, which was kind of like his comeback album. And he was starting to move into like a 80s type metal vibe with that Constrictor album. But with Raise Your Fist and Yell, he's all in, man. This is metal as it gets. You've got the mighty monster Kane Roberts on guitar. You've got Kip Winger on bass at this era of the Alice Cooper's band. This is great, man. You've got the song Freedom! Freedom to rock! Freedom to talk! Freedom! I love it, man. Give the radio back. You've got the title track, Raise Your Fist and Yell. You've got, Red? You've got Roses on White Lace. This is great. You got Prince of Darkness is on here. This is just heavy, hard metal rock and roll right there, man. Love the Coop, the granddad of rock and roll, the Coop. Great stuff, man. Now, I mentioned in earlier videos how me and the Perch have been putting the Perch, our editor and good friend, the Fishman, the Perch, my compadre here on Cosmic Vinyl. We've been putting together a pretty nice run of Scorpions albums, and we got this bad boy right here, Animal Magnetism, again with the crazy ass covers, man. I mean, nothing really like graphic here, but it's the innuendo, it's the thought that puts in your mind, right? But yeah, what a great album, man. This album has one of my favorite Scorpion tracks on it. It's called The Zoo. And oh man, I love that tune, man. And then the following track is Animal Magnetism, which is heavy, man. It's a great song. But I first was introduced to the song The Zoo when I lived down in Dallas, Texas in the mid 80s. There was this local band in the Dallas scene down there called Naked Zoo, and they covered that song, The Zoo by the Scorpions, and they did a fantastic job of it. I just remember this one cat in the band had this huge, you know how the 80s hair was, but his was overly big. I mean, it was huge. God, they were a great band. God, we had such a great rock scene back in the 80s in Dallas, man. You don't hear about it, but man, we were living it. It was happening. But yeah, this is a great record. Another one for the Scorps collection. And then I was in the mood for some killer mid-70s rock and roll, and you can't get anything better than the party rock, the big rock of Van Halen. This is my favorite era of Van Halen right here. Women and Children First. This one and Fair Warning. God, look at that picture right there. That'd be a great poster to have here in the Cosmic Realm. But yeah, this album and Fair Warning are among probably my favorite Van Halen albums. I just love this era, and it gets totally ignored sometimes when you're talking about the great Van Halen albums. But this stuff is great. Of course, you got the opening track and The Cradle Will Rock. God, that's so heavy. Just a great song. Fantastic. Loss of control, loss of control, of control, lost control. Love it, man. Take Your Whiskey Home. Kind of a bluesy vibe to that song, man. Everybody Wants Some. Jeez, this is great. How can you not list this among your favorite Van Halen records? Love their sound anyway, but Eddie, I mean, with the, you know, the technical prowess of an Eddie Van Halen on guitar and the friggin' brute strength of Alex Van Halen on drums. And then you've got the, you know, the most charismatic frontman in rock and roll, David Lee Roth. But the one part of Van Halen that really gives them, to me, their signature sound besides Eddie's guitar is Michael Anthony's bass, and also, but more so, his backing vocals, that higher register behind David Lee Roth's vocal style. That's the signature sound for Van Halen to me, man. And that's definitely on display on Women and Children First. Love that record. Now here's the last one I'm going to show. Not the last one I'm going to listen to today, but definitely last one I'm going to show. I want to keep it a little bit shorter. But this, look at this, man. This is friggin' great. One of my favorite albums when I was in. This is my last record I'm going to show today. Not the last one I'm going to listen to, but the last one I'm going to show. One of my favorite albums from when I was in high school. I don't know how a kid that was in high school in 82, 83, how Rainbow, this era of Rainbow became his favorite band, but this was my favorite band for a long time. Had this one and Rainbow Rising, and I love that cover art with the sketch with the, you've got friggin' Cozy Powell. I think that might be Jimmy Bain, I'm not sure, but there's Dio and Richie Blackmore. God, this is a killer album. I think I might even like this about as much as Rainbow Rising, if not more. Long Live Rock and Roll. God, what a great album. And I've spoken about this gatefold before. It's kind of a little controversial. It's a little shady. This is not a Dio or this is not a Rainbow crowd right here. That's a Rush crowd. It was taken at a Rush show. And they just airbrushed out the sign and put Long Live Rock and Roll. And as you can see, every kid that has a shirt on, a black t-shirt, like the graphics are all airbrushed out because they all said Rush on them. But yeah, I love it still. It doesn't make a difference to me because I'll always love this album. Lady of the Lake, oh my God. LA Connection, and then the freaking amazing Gates of Babylon. Oh my God. I love this record, man. I'm getting like all pumped up for when I'm going to play it later. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I miss Ronnie Dio big time, man. When he passed, I was like, that was a biggie for me. It hurt. All right, you guys, I'm going to see you guys out with a toast. I got a great day of rock and roll, as you can see here, man. I've even got more, but I wish you guys a freaking fantastic weekend. You guys have fun, relax, take a load off. You've worked hard, man. You've worked hard all week. You've went through the weekly grind. It's time to cut loose. Listen to some great music on vinyl, or just music in general. Hey, if you dig what you've seen here, man, hit that subscription button, man. We'd be glad to have you, man. We want you on board. We want you to be a cosmonaut like us, man. Jesus. Oh, and let me tell you, you don't want to miss when we put a video out. You don't. Or maybe you do, but at least you'll have the option by hitting that notification bell. Do so you don't miss anything. Also, if you like us, man, boost our egos. Boost me and the Perch's ego by hitting that like button, that thumbs up. We always appreciate you guys. We appreciate the commenters. Appreciate those who view, man. We love you guys. And have a great weekend. Stay cool. Stay cosmic. It's only rock and roll. And we freaking love it, man. I know I do. And we'll catch you on the next round. Peace, people.